240 on air. 240. That's pretty fucking far away. What gives you that target? 240? That seems a little random. I don't see why that would be a target. I mean, to me, in the most recent price action, it would be in this pocket right here that I would look to try to gain price. That target is a different day's problem, not today's. That doesn't happen until you really get 221. So I mean, if you wanted to take it going into that empty space, obviously it wouldn't be a bad time to do it, but you wouldn't be guaranteed anything, until you obviously move into the structure and break out of it. So, but sure, I mean, again, I can't tell the future on that one. I can tell you the future if this, right, if this we get that, if that we get this, then I'm gonna trade that space. So, all right. Beautiful. All right. So if you guys have anything you want me to take a look at, let's do that now. I noticed that they put the camera really close to my face today. That's okay. Oh, a little closer. Just trying to kind of move it back. All right, let's see what we can do. And I think everybody should be able to get their charts done tonight. So, all right, so I can tell you already right now that the 24-hour, this is where you want to come to a conclusion, right? Or to like a draw a line in the sand, and you have the opportunity, I think, to do that. That is where Reddit can go higher. It's that simple. It really is that simple. This, you do have structure up above you, but obviously this is a main selling point. So if you're looking up, it's 247, right? If you want to even get back up there, you need a candle close back up above 237.75. So if that's what you're looking for, might not be it, right? One could even, underneath 221.89 could be looking at a downside move. But yeah, this music is fire, dude. All right, let's see here. CI or CL? CI or CL, dude? What do I think above it? This has got to be it. I mean, the way this thing trades, you get 1 day, 1 or 2 days of movement in one direction. It seems. I mean, maybe a couple of exceptions here, but boy, is this thing look like a heart attack meter. You got this right there. So I mean, yeah, is it empty space? Yes. Is it most likely above here 230, 279.41 and 281.88? Sure. That doesn't look like anything that I would trade, but again, it's not the worst thing in the whole world I've ever seen. But yeah, above that. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Gold. You want this gold or do you want uh GC? Yeah, that's an ugly chart, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. That one does not serve me or you. Spot. Okay. I mean, the simple answer here is that we're up against the highest building, right? Which is obviously more bullish than bearish. So you're in a read. I mean, hopefully futures open up and we can be above 430 or 43.88. And absolutely, we could see a break into those highs. However, if this is the 1, 2, 3, fourth time that you've been up here, fifth time that you've been up here, and you can't get any higher, you might need a retracement back down to the 42. And I would assume possibly even a retest into the median. But yeah, I mean, we also have to think about this, right? After any big move or extended move on gold, you go fucking sideways, and it's like the bigger the move, kind of the wider the box. But I mean, one could contemplate that this is an area where you could build another range. But right now, I would say obviously just wait for that break. See how futures open up. Do, 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 do. I think 195.39. I mean, yeah, I said this one last week. I got a target of 203.68 above this mark. You got a pocket of empty space up there. So yeah, I mean, the analysis stands on that one. You're up against the resistance, and obviously with futures, hopefully, maybe a gap up or a move up. We could see that space filled up directly above us. So, all right, let's see here. Pony up. Uh, all day, you say. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, so this one looks like, I mean, it is unusual price action. I'm not going to take that one. It's not my cup of tea in that sense, but it does seem to present a potential channel here, and of course, with relative empty space up to 1785, that is your first immediate target. Now, if we're looking at this from like the weekly perspective, I can tell you for a fucking fact that above 1650, you're probably looking upwards into the $19 area. And one could be, I mean, usually when you break this, you go into the highs. So 2450, honestly, if you're trading with your nuts out, not bad. Thank you guys for tapping the screen, by the way. I appreciate that. And the roses, Vinyl Master. Appreciate that, man. It's fucking crazy. I'm changing the music on my phone in my headphones on my computer. One's not connected to the other. All right, let's see here. That was probably an old person thing to say right there. AMD. Good God, look at that gap down there, baby. I think it's trying to save its soul right now. Look at it. It's trying to pull itself up from the depths of hell. Seems to be doing a decent job at that. Now, is this a chart that I would trade? No. But yeah, so I'm going to point these things out, and I don't want you to not do it. I want you to figure out why, right? So maybe you need to, and this just goes down to like, maybe you do need to figure it out by through experience. So if you don't believe me, this isn't, again, promising that nothing will happen. The 4 hour might reveal that there is pockets of empty space. It doesn't, but there's a box directly up above you. You're heading towards the floor, maybe over to 2014. You can get a break over here, but now you're faced with another range. You got the range right there. That's 231.87. And then you're right back up and you're looking at the next range. The range is right here, and then maybe a little pocket of empty space, but 248.87. So I mean, if that's what you're looking for, that you did leave a gap behind. So if at any point, if you're creating empty space right now, if you cannot see yourself forward, this floor is not strong, and your target is 185, which I think in time you'll get there. So hood is looking nice on the four. On the four, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Need a candle close on the hourly at 122.68. You need a 124.78 mark break, and you got empty space up above. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue that at all. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Snow at the downside. I was actually watching this one for an upside move. Potentially. On the 24-hour, it looks like it wants to retest the 232.77. On the 24-hour, you got a box with a candle close outside of it, just showing that sellers are having a really hard time keeping this thing down. If you're really looking at shorting this thing, you're going to have to be back down here. And it's like that gap right there at 216 that would need to be filled. 219.75 would need to be lost. How much empty space do you scan for? Enough to make a bag, my boy. I mean, I don't think that that's. I know by experience whether something's where if it's a fucking $1.50 move, on snow, I'm not in it. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to trade. Like even something like in there. I'm not trading that empty space. I'm looking for 24-hour empty space is pretty much exclusively what I. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm looking for. This type of shit right here, that's what I would like. That right there, that's what I'd like. I know when I look at a chart exactly what I want. I know when I look at a chart, I know exactly what I want, and it's the same shit that I teach you guys. It's the same thing. When I look at this, I look for structure, right? I look for empty space. I got a little bit of structure in here, so I'll add some time if I need to, right? Which I already did. But above 225, we would look for the first target of 227.96, but it's naturally the floor here, that structure that I would be looking to retest. And of course, because it has empty space directly up above it, I wouldn't mind letting some runners go into that. So I did look at Pony. I thought, yeah, definitely did. It is that 1650 mark, and then you've got the 1778. So okay. Yeah, I mean it looks okay. Do I have my sound? Oh, okay. Trying to figure out how to change the sound waves. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know the crisp is going into overhaul right now, so all right. Anything else? Anybody have anything else to look at? We got those features opening up here in just a little bit, so thanks, Jesse. Do I think Lulu bounces from the 225 from Thursday? Possibly. There we go. All right, let's see. Lulu. 24. Do I think it bounces? And I don't lean too much on what I think. I lean more on the reaction, right? And what's left behind, not on what I think. I mean, what I think is based off of what I see on these charts, right? And what I think right now is that you need to get back up above 210. And you did, yes, leave behind enough empty space that it is possible, of course, to bounce, right? That is one of the main characteristics that I look for. And so, yeah, if you can get back outside of that marker up there and get above 213.35. Sure. It ran straight to structure. But see, this is when I leave shit alone, right? If it punches through this box or gets above 87.50, I would feel a whole lot better about trying to tackle that empty space to the upside. 100%. You got a nice pocket directly. I don't know what this is, but yeah, you got a nice pocket right here. And the next structure that you would be aiming for is up there. Doesn't look bad. Does not look bad. Celsius, everybody on here could tap their screen, that would be amazing. So yeah, I am hunting Celsius right now. It's not quite ready yet. There's still quite a bit of overhead that we got to get through. The weekly still need to get back up above or near 46 on the 24-hour. We got to get above 45. And so right now, not a bad start, right? But the reality is we got to get it through this structure first. That is numero uno. All right, let's see here. AI up. You got a lower time frame pocket of empty space in here and in here, so that's your reversal signs. You got a nice big bounce off of structure, leading you directly to the previous resistance that held you down. There's a floor up above you at 1475. That's your must recover next week, and I think would naturally lead you to 1510. From there, we'll see, right? That's where you need to, but that would be my first guess. And then of course, this box here will dictate whether you can move higher than that. So did that one. AIBE. What are you looking for out of this one? To me, I just see a massive structure up there. You're heading towards the floor. You got empty space within that structure up to 98. So that would be my first price target there. If you can obviously move, and this is where you're waiting for a 24-hour signal, if you can get through this 50% mark at 105, perhaps this thing is creating that downtrend and you're fit to move within it. Seems a bit soon, but yeah, 98 would be. Do you usually buy your calls in the money or already out of the money? Out of the money. Out of the money for sure. I want to keep my risk really, really low. And a lot of people think that going closer to the money keeps your risk low, but if it's not moving in your direction, which can be true for outside of the money, but one costs more, one costs less. So what would be the trigger down? Yeah, so I think 219.26 would be step one. You got a gap down there to 216. All right, what else do we got, guys? Thank you guys for tapping your screen. It's definitely helping a little bit. I usually get the first or second out of the money options. Yeah, so I do a class on options. Primarily when I take a trade, I look at target based contracts primarily. So All right. Okay. So we gapped up. Gap up. But gap up where? We got a gap on NQ. I think you're going to get a nasty up down. You're going to get down before you get up with that gap. That gap's not above, and I think you can get 25.7 there. Share this live if you can, like it. If you end up taking off, make sure to check out the video I just posted. Or just like and drop a comment if you can. All right, let's see here. GJT. How the fuck did that squeeze out? Donald Trump fucking media. Let's see here. Oh man, I wish I could give you good analysis on this, but this is like one stock that just doesn't provide that. And would you look at that? I mean, I could have down here for sure. You know, we could have definitely minced words about a potential move up to that. Now, the big move is typically after these big moves, you go into sideways price action, right? So you need to keep your foot on the whatever the fucking catalyst is here. You need to keep your foot on the gas pedal. And so I venture to guess that Donald DG Tear, whatever the fuck DG or JT, excuse me, is going to need to break over the 1730 mark. But again, if you go and squeeze higher, I focus on the pockets of empty space. It'd be like 24.35, but you need a proper squeeze on that, something that looks like something like this. So, what's a catalyst? A catalyst is any sort of news event, headline. And I cannot tell you how many times, and I've through evidence have convinced hundreds of people that the news is already baked in. Charts will actually, it could be data, yeah, news, but charts will actually show you when or where those news events will likely occur. In fact, I can tell you this for sure. Like, yeah, fucking, it's crazy. It actually, to me, I didn't believe it at first, and I'm the one who, obviously put this shit together. But I didn't even believe it at first. I said a year ago, that you can go watch on YouTube a year ago, look at the videos. I said a year ago that we would have a catalyst that gets us out of this 1875 and into this empty space. And what the fuck did we have? I said that a year ago. Don't think that I'm that smart. I'm not a fucking genie. Like, you can do this too. It is straight up. If you see consolidation and fat empty space, it's either waiting on the market overhead to get a catalyst or it itself will get a catalyst. If it has earnings, this is one of my blueprints for earnings. I do the same shit. The same shit. If you left behind a lot of empty space and you have a lot of consolidation, right? Especially when you get consolidation bouncing off of one another, right? That's the type of setup that I want to see, right? I already want it to have gone sideways. I already want it to have chopped up the contracts. Boxes are my friend. Where people lose money, I gain the ability to buy cheaper contracts, So, what about that purple icon in the bottom earnings, right? What is it? The bottom, the purple icon in the, oh, this one? That right there, that latest updates. China beats on earnings but struggles with China and faces tariffs. Yeah, that's about it. But lo and it's actually pretty crazy about this. You again, right off structure, and then look what you retest right off the first green candle to your left. Now you literally have an area where you can rinse and repeat, right? Chop people up, give them new lows, and then one day, a catalyst will happen again. I can say this now, mark my words. It'll either be earnings or it'll be a sector wide catalyst or it will be an individual catalyst and it will pop up and fill that empty space. So, what does that mean? What does what mean? The purple, what earnings? That one? That just means it has earnings in the future. It just means that that company is coming out to give you their numbers for that quarter, what their projections are, their guidance is. It gives you an insight on what's going on in that company, and people base on supposedly base whether they're investing off of that. So you can get a lot of if a company has sat at a lull or sat consolidated, it is waiting for said catalyst, you know, and especially if you were given lower guidance and you dumped, this is actually a oh my god, dude. Listen, I'm gonna get killed by BlackRock. Listen, it's fucking crazy how they do this. You'll get a stock that beats earnings but lowers guidance, dumps hard, creates empty space, but they lowered their guidance. So they'll sit and they'll chop and they'll build and then come around the next earnings. It's easier for them to beat earnings and make it look good because they dropped their guidance and they dropped their own stock. So now it gives people a buying opportunity. It's crazy because when you lower guidance, you lower the expectation for the next quarter. So it's easier for you to hit and blow past. And that's all people fucking care about. You're talking? Yeah, I know, right? Shh. Gotta pipe down. But it is, man. It gets me I there's some students in my Discord that I just want to fucking grab by the fucking suspenders, you know what I mean? And be like, stop fucking taking dumb shit and just listen. Just listen for a little while. Before you start doing things, before you start traumatizing yourself, know what we're like, figure watch the system. You know what I mean? Because I didn't get here, even me, I had to build this system from A, ignoring everything that everybody else was teaching me, and B, looking at the market a lot, watching how price interacts with one another. So, earned 14K to 40K with Potter this year, upper decking White Castles. That's a W right there in the chat. Let's get some W's in the chat for upper decking White Castles. If you're watching right now and you have any like gains that you want to post them in the pictures on the last video that I posted, if on TikTok, if you don't mind. W's. What's my Discord? Simple Stacks Investments. Proud of you, bro. No kidding. My son says the same thing. Means a lot, guys. I don't get to hear that all that much. You know, I appreciate it. Peyton's parents are very proud of me, which means a lot too. You know, because they didn't like me that much when I met Peyton. We had learned so much. That's amazing, man. Hopefully you make so much, or you already are. That is the goal. That looks, man, that looks suspiciously good. And I don't really like AVGO. However, I do know that you can't take its first bait. You know what I mean? A lot of the times it's going to build. But here's the long and short of it. Resistance is here. Target is likely up there at 360, 150. Yeah, it would be. That would be a small range that you would be heading towards. We thank you for what you do and teach. Yeah, saving money to buy Discord and workshop. Let's go, CR. Yeah, hopefully, maybe. I mean, a lot of the times people make the money watching, dude. So you know, one thing to think about. This year, I created more independent traders than any other year. I mean, last year was great, but this year, man, like I said last year, we're gonna fucking lock down. And the beginning of this year was like holy fuck, man. Like we really did. And it's funny because, you know, a lot of people don't like that we joke around so much and there's soundboards and stuff, but like when it's time to fucking get down to the brass tacks of what's going on, like we get it done. Cool. Did I hit my trading goal? I hit my trading goal in November, or no, in October. The beginning of October, I hit my trading goal. Um, I lost some money at the end of October, but there's a lot of individual equities that actually, obviously Rivian being one of those, that have definitely put me well over my trading goal. So if you want to call it a goal, you know, that'd be sick, Bobby. Yeah. How to know when to set an expiration date? Okay. That's a great question. If everybody can tap their screen, I'll answer that right now using the chart that I just showed you. Okay, so we're on the 2-hour time frame. Simple, right? If we get a punch through this area of consolidation, through into this empty space, right? There's no resistance really above us. So from here, and assuming that it's Monday or Tuesday, I would take a weekly contract. Now, this is Christmas week, so clearly there's going to be a little bit of a divide there. Possibly be better to take something next week, although you could lose value on your contract if we don't move. But yes, these pockets, so this short expiration, right? We should have just typed that out. So that's short expiration, right? And this target here, this has a different, right, expiration that would be needed. We have resistance in front of us, right? So if you push up into this empty space and you do it quickly, as we predict typically this allows price to do, we could expect for wide fluctuations in price. So at that point, we would need to add time, right? You'd need to have some time on your contracts. And with the 373 target in mind, or even a little bit higher, you would probably want to have about 2 to 3 weeks. And there is an acknowledgement that can be had on how a stock moves. If this stock, which is notorious for grinding, you might look at 3 weeks. Now, how do you find out how a stock moves? Exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm looking with my eyes, right? How does it move up when it hits a support, right? How does it respond when it breaks out of a box? Okay, out of a box, not bad. Out of a bounce, right? Could be better. Could be better. Could be better. But out of a box, not bad. So you can take that into account. Right here is a perfect little punchback right there. Look at that thing. Bam. Double punchback. Oh my God. Dude, real quick. I just want to show you guys. This is a masterclass, right? Like this is a perfect example. Look at this. So that this is how I found my strategy, by the way. Right now, I am dead ass showing you. Right now, this is exactly what caught my attention, right? Is the responsiveness of why is it when I find an area where stocks go sideways that it's not Darvis's 25%, it's my 50% that is really the main stopping point and decision maker for the stock. And you stop, I mean, look, perfect box, floor, touches, everything's perfect, the volume and the centroid of the mechanism. If you know where that movie quote is from, you're an OG. Is it based on the time frames that I'm looking at? It can be. I mean, but the lower the time frame, the more likely. Because again, you know, this is the empty space that I just talked about. This is addressable on the 24-hour. So if I'm aiming from here to here, right, all of this empty space, and I'm also acknowledging how it moves, I'm still going to want to take 2 to 3 weeks out to capture all of that. It's going to, again, you know, with a Navy Joe is a special case because it is something that, you know, you can ask Chad. It's good to have a longer expiration because of the volatility of it. So you coming up? You coming up? Oh my God. There you go. Oh my God. You can't use my skin as a ladder, shawty. Okay? Is that cool? Are we cool? Cool? That works. No high five. I just get a smush. Should small port average down when it goes down or hold to targets? Should small ports average down when it goes down or hold to target? You should not average down. Oh, you got invited? Oh, sweet. Let's go. Ryan, fuck yeah. Let's go. Disney's Treasure Planet. William, you got it, dude. You probably did you look that up? Be honest. Tell me if you looked that up. Are you just gonna stare at me? Huh? Oh, I love that movie too, but mostly because of the dad thing. It sucks, dude. All the you know what's crazy is like I had daddy issues when I was a kid. You know, obviously a lot of stuff going on there, and I all the cartoons were like dad's dead, dad get washed away by a flood, dad gets knocked off a fucking cliff. You know, it's like Jesus Christ, Pixar. All right. What else are we looking at? Dude, IWM is actually the cream of the crop. I think this one's really where money can be made on at least if I mean if it goes up, dude. It's hard to see it going down. I mean, I could be wrong and could be a catalyst here, but by God, this fucker looks like it's gonna go back up by thunder up to that 250, 221. Mine was early dead, so mentors and other men. Same here, William. Same here. You when you don't have a dad, you grow up with like 1,000 dads. They don't even know that you're looking at them that way. You know what I mean? But I remember there was this guy named Mike McClendon. And when my stepdad got deployed, he bought an extra bike and would ask my mom, is like, can I take him out bike riding with my kids? And he would take me bike riding with them, and he was just a cool dude. Dude got struck by lightning 4 times on 4 separate occasions. The last time he died. I'm not even. You could probably look it up. It. Yeah. Rest in peace. Great man. But his kids were like, oh my, they couldn't believe it either. Yeah, 4 times. But he did have a affinity for running on like mountain trails. So there's a little bit of a electric charge in those areas. It's crazy though. All right. Did I swing IWM? I do have a little bit of IWM. Yes, I do. I think it's a good time to speculate. You know what I mean, Shouty? You know what I mean? Yeah, he really was. You can chill. You're fucking adorable. Yes, it's fine. With a belly. How much for the cat? I know what you mean, Shouty. Bull? Oh, I actually got some equity in Bull. Yeah, I do actually. You know what? I fucking do think that. You know what? Holy shit! This actually looks really good. Write it down. Write it down. If you use my strategy, why aren't you writing it down right now? Do you not have a pen? Run, run! Go get a pen right now. I want everybody to post pictures of their note. Write down bull and then draw a picture of feet right next to it because it's important. That looks great. Now it's a lower time frame trade, but it looks good because of the empty space. 24-hour though. We haven't looked at that. It's in a box. It's at the floor. It's the second time. So with a longer expiration, might be worth it. And here's what else I can do, right? Look what I can do. I'm doing analysis right now, bruh. You're pestering me. Look at that right there. And then let's go to the 4-hour. Oh my God, raise it up just a little bit. 885. 885, 890. Get up. I think that wick those wicks, and this is a great example, those wicks make it hard to be bearish. It makes it so, like, it makes it impossible to be bearish. So yeah, I do actually think a swing, short-term swing up to 970 would be a sweet target on this one. Continuation, you would be banking on the third. I'm looking at a lower time frame trade, but if you're looking higher, a little bit more time on your contract, you're probably aiming up here for that little pocket. And that's 1070. You said 18 bucks. I mean, I think eventually, yeah. I think we get up into fuck $18, dude. This might keep going down. I mean, I bought it at a good price, but it might keep going down if I'm being 100% honest with you. Not now, but it all really is going to depend on how we move here. But that being said, yes, I do see, when I look at a stock like this, I look at it the same way as like Robinhood, right? These pockets of empty space inevitably will get filled up. I mean, I don't know if Hood exactly did this on its IPO. It did. In fact, it's identical, right? Just spillage, and then just a fucking terrible time to own Hood. And it did it. I watched the whole thing. Definitely should have bought more equity in that. Get the bag, tell a friend, and get in. Rein in. SoFi? Miss it. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, pull up to your bed, like, reel it in, bag, tell a friend. Ugh. Oof. I buy that shit before I even know the price. Tonight. Nice. 2765. 2765. And 2850 would be the immediate target, but that is what I want. I don't give a fuck about that. I want that. You know, wait. Hold up. I mean, what more do you want? It recovered, bounced off your floor, recovered your other, moved through your structure. You didn't leave a gap behind. You do have empty space, but it's still 2750. And you're trying to take this into new highs. So looking at this, looking at the structure up above us, knowing it's a 24-hour bit, empty space to here, you could probably play 1 to 2 weeks out. Here, you're going to need to be 3 to 4 weeks out. It's an interesting setup, and it definitely is going to get its ass handled at 2880 as it has in the past. And if it rips there, I would not be surprised if it comes right the fuck back down. And it does what it's done in the past, right? And it builds, and it builds, and then it fucking pops. Not bad. Listen, I feel really good about that prediction. I'm gonna call it a prediction because I'm moving way past. But I when you get that 1, 2, and then you get a pocket up of empty space, you rip. Buyers come in, immediate reversal. Buyer comes out, sellers dip in, and then it chops, burns both sides. Contracts get cheap. Empty space up above. I bust a financial. Never mind. I'm trying to stay on band here. Golden Porsche by Mogwai. Yo, who just changed my music? Did I do that? Oh, I clicked the music next button on my keyboard. Nothing. Say it. Nah. All right. What else are we looking at, y'all? The fuck? How far back do you look for empty space as far as necessary? So let's look at it, right? I'm gonna show you. I don't know if this is gonna be right, but I'm gonna still try. See that? That's from August of 2021. You don't even get close to that until the 20 of the, basically 2025 this year, right? And you fill up that space in the same manner. Look how fast you rip, right? You fill that up the same way, and it's fucking 5 years old. I've traded empty space from 25 years ago, and you know what it did? It fucking ripped. Price. Yeah, but Brock, it's Christmas week, so be careful. Option good. Oh. Empty. God, this looks fucking insane. I want to say that there's a fucking fatty move coming, but I. Ooh, look at this thing. You're in a massive weekly area of consolidation, and I'm gonna be honest with you. This is if I listen, if anybody like this has a great base, it's a great build, but there is. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me give me more. Let me get another crack at this lower time frame. So you got a box right there. So this is just a read and react scenario. You really don't. What else could you do with this? I see empty space up there above you, and I see a retest of 850. Right there. So I actually, you know what? Don't sleep on that one. It is a little bit of a lower time frame setup, but essentially the lower time frame box up in front of you could be the catalyst to get you there, and that's over at 680. So long levels for Tesla. I can't give you ones to the upside, bro. You know that. That's beyond me. All I can tell you right now is that we got to get a fucking move on. That Tesla needs to either with market cooperation get its ass up in gear and moving, because you're building too close to home and you're sitting right up against that previous wick. And so I mean the reality here is if you break into the highs, it's 500, 520, 550, but we need, with all of this consolidation, we need that break. Um, And so, I mean, looking at this right now, the only levels that I can give you are the ones that you broke. You know what I mean? Um, so even just really focusing on the most recent price action, you could look at this box under here and say Tesla can't really afford anything less than 455, 456.60. So you better take cover. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Sorry, I don't have music on right now, guys. I don't want to get a copyright ban. You can listen with me on Spotify. 6'4" and full of muscle. Oh God, what do you want to do to this? How about get labs? How about get fucked? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm just joking. I'm sorry. That that is the worst. Sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my God, dude. I'm just joking. But this is insane. Um I'm only joking. I'm only joking. But it's just the price action on this is horrendous, and that's just one thing that keeps me away from charts. Now you filled up all of your empty space. You might be able to call that empty space. This is the weekly chart, mind you, but the consolidation that you're currently, sitting underneath, which is 40-30. There's a potential catalyst to punch you back up. You know, you can see that overhead right here clear across the board, 52.80. I mean, so maybe 35.50, but dude, this is something that somebody needs to buy this shit. This thing I can't speak for its long term. This could be a great monthly base that one day it breaks up out of, and if you look at the monthly, it's trying, or it could be in that area where it attempts to try. This is where drawing a line in the sand and going to a higher time frame helps a lot, and that's $52 again. So I don't think that anything happens till 52. I can't stop laughing. It's a $42 gap fill. You said a $42 gap fill. Okay, so you let me know if you're doing that lower time frame stuff, because when I look at the higher time frame, obviously I can't even control what I say. It just comes out of my mouth. It's so hard to trade, and I think that's appropriate reaction to have, towards those type of setups. But with that being said, sure. Now, looking at its price action to the upside, it gets it done quickly and in an hour. So perhaps outside of 38.65 or through 30-40 bucks, you could look for that gap fill. So I could, that might be okay. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate you. Yeah, tap your screens if you guys can. Do I buy penny stocks? Never. Never. I think maybe 3 or 4 times in my life I've ever been guilty of buying penny stocks. By the way, the workshop is discounted for the only. I'm never gonna do this again. Ivy kind of convinced me to do it one time for Christmas since Lifetime's going away. I will not be doing it ever again. So if you don't have the workshop, I would peep game. Um, that's the most important thing that I sell. Like, of all the things that I have, again, I want people to make money before they join the Discord, but that is number one. That has from point A to point B. No, it's not that much. We went back and forth on that. So all right, keep dropping your requests, guys. Everything is discounted, but that's the most important thing that I have. Lunar. Damn. It's got to be a weekly chart, man. It's really weird. So very odd looking. But on the weekly, you got a strong candle close right here. You got empty space. I say 1706. So, what days on Christmas week do you recommend trading? I don't necessarily really like trading on Christmas week, period. But Monday and Tuesday will probably be the better days, if anything. That's my thoughts right before Christmas. So after that, I think with New Year's and everything, it might be best to lay off. Again, we'll look at the market and how it's set up. I don't like that at all. I mean, you're bouncing, you've recovered 2090, you came off of this structure over here to your left, you got empty space up above you. So, I mean, that's an old box that you punched through. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that one. Um, Riot up, maybe down, has a gap on the 4 hour. No shit, I haven't heard this song in a decade or so. Holy shit. Huh. Um, 1624. 1624. You're red on your bounce on the floor, right? So you weren't able to recover enough. So you're banking on, yes, the box up above you punching back and giving you a move into structure above. If you fail, that gap, yes, could be an area to reclaim. So can you do a simulation replay on TradingView and walk us through what you think as a play is developing? Well, give me a like an example. Is there like a play that we've taken recently? Um, Song name? Song name? What song? There's a song? There shouldn't be music on right now. Oh yeah. I don't like when it does this. It gives me all these fucking. That's the only my only real profile too. So just don't. Oh, the song. It was White Daisies Passing by somebody. I forgot already. All right, what else have we got? Nothing, because I can't wait. Yeah, I talked about this one. It needs to get over 87.31. It's the floor right there. Snow. Oh yeah, my so target one is 228.62. Target two is 230, basically 231, 230.75. If I even know the price. Sim Sam, what's up? Nice. I see ALK. I mean, building underneath its old cost basis that it punched through. So your next target is 54 and 56. This looks great. It's taking a little break to consolidate. Looks good. I always like when stocks pull back and like retest areas, but I mean, it doesn't look bad at all. Obviously, hold your floor. All right. Does anybody have any more questions or requests? Yeah, what's all these chill ass songs? I mean, I'm dope, cool, but building a box very much seems like there could be a channel here that could start. You have retested very, very, very close, right, to those wicks. You seem to have, yeah, even you grazed that floor. But I mean, the long and short of this right now is either A, we're looking at a potential box, right, that's being built on the higher time frame. Um, there's your box on a lower time frame here underneath you, and then really, realistically, the only thing really standing between you and new highs is the range that you're being held down by. So, hmm. Hmm. Ramble on. So I'm looking for a floor. I'm looking for something that we need to hold on to, and all I'm getting is 76.17. That being said, there is still empty space up above you, which, obviously leads me to believe that two pockets of it actually. Now, when it gets to ripping, right, it typically builds, and that's something that you've got to look for on this stock. Um, so again, you got to have a plan. And now that I'm on the 15 minute, it seems like even a 75-35 retest could be in the cards, unless you can gap up over 80, which is your next target. So, hold on one second. Sorry, I'm multitasking here. Okay. All right. Oh, Netflix. I don't think anybody asked me for that. Yep. Yeah, you got that one. Hmm. Uh, so I think this is like there's a good chance this thing could be getting pinched here, but I don't like the upside pinch. Okay, so I see it now. Right, and that's was control, no longer. Hmm. I'm not gonna lie to you. This shit does not look, you know, super easy to transcribe. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. As far as consolidation is concerned, it's wide, right? It's loose, but it's everywhere, and I mean everywhere, which makes trading conditions even more choppy because you have more resistance. So I think, again, if you're, this is not anything that I would ever trade. I mean, again, if you do, totally fine. But this is something I would never ever trade because it just lacks the liquidity that I need, outside of what looks to be, I don't know what that is, but it's ever so often you get pretty decent moves out of this, but it's definitely empty space, as you can see here, that aids in that. I mean, big rip right there. So I guess maybe over, yeah, 942. What the fuck is this? Oh, Carla, you're good. I just wanted to let you know that that was the difference, but and yeah, Carla, I got some questions I wanted to ask you. I know I already asked you about the video thing, but I want to, we're doing like a kind of an interview thing. I think your perspective, or how you, and again, I don't know everything that's going on. I just see that you've been posting pretty consistent gains, but I want, if you can, share your perspective on how you approached this whole thing. And that's something you could like prep now, or think about now. So I figured I'd give you this question now, but I wanted to, because you've had some pretty good success early on, and I want, obviously, that could be that's a perspective I don't have. I've never approached my own strategy. So but yeah, good luck with the Santa helping. I'm with you on that one, although my wife is, I don't wrap presents. I'm not allowed to, and I'm actually not allowed to wrap presents. Probably because this shit looks exactly how my handwriting does. And when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it. I've got specific questions I ask clients about particular feedback. It can't be that bad. What are you talking about? What's up, baby? Let me see. Let me see. All the bees. Stay back. This is excellent, Ao. Now, one thing I know he's going to tell you is that he's going to want you to, in the same way, see how you're doing it sideways for more space. He's going to want you to keep it neat, right, and small. You know what I mean? So I think next time you practice that, keep it in here, and try to give it each one almost equal space to show that you can do that. You know what I mean? But otherwise, these are excellent, man. Different. I hired a graffiti tutor for my son, and he's doing his graffiti homework. Stretching the beans, stretching the beans, huh? Stretching the beans. You get my computer so heated every single time you lay on here. It goes up several Celsius. I hope you're enjoying my $8,000 heater that you're sitting on. Yes. What about his calligraphy? That's what he's working on. Yeah, so his mentor is having him work on calligraphy first, and then also just kind of experimenting with different styles. He wants to break my son's perspective of perfection. He wants to show him that there's art is something that you can pick on or pick up on different styles and then make something of your own. So, but oh, thanks, King Tut. Trying to let them be kids, man. They're if you try, if I told them like don't do graffiti, will you teach them how to trade stocks? If I can, I hope not. I mean, obviously I want to, but I also wish that he could live in a world where he didn't have to, trade. He could just do what he loves and make money. So if I can help him, the only reason I'm here is because, I mean, same reason all of you are here. I wanted to amplify my money and what I love, what I loved to do was never going to give me that. And I was always going to be struggling. And I could look around at the people who I was working with and see my future. And there hasn't been many other things that have scared me more than being around older coworkers. And I don't mean that in historical preservation. I'm working with like even as a job lead or as a contractor, I'm working with plumbers that are like 70 or 65 years old, dude, and it's like, man, they're living on fucking bars, you know what I mean? Like paying bills and yeah. So I mean, will I teach him how to invest and how to use my strategy? Of course. I think that's something that's crucial for him. But if I can keep him from having to day trade, and if I can just push him in or put him in a position, help him chase his dreams, then perhaps his dreams give him what we're all hoping to accomplish through trading, right? There's different ways to get there. I didn't have that in my life, so I'm 34 and you're describing my life. Yeah. I mean, I've done it all, dude. I did high-rise window cleaning. I loved it. It was so much freedom hanging off the side of a skyscraper, but they don't pay shit. But Potter Life took you to another level. You are helping many people accomplish financial. What do you mean in reference to like my son, teaching him how to do this? I mean, I guess imagine look at like some of the favorite like artists that or even like musical artists. Like they have investment portfolios and stuff like that. They're smart. Um, but doing what they love is how they bring in, what most people make in a fucking, 5 years, they get in one show or some shit like that. Oh, teaching people? Yeah. Uh, Yo, we're almost to 60,000 likes, dude. You guys are crazy. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. My hubby is an HVAC contractor, owns a septic company too. You'll be surprised at how much shit. Listen, but that's the difference, Carla, is I actually still have plans on um being a general contractor for historical preservation, but I don't want to touch anything. You know what I mean? I'm not going to touch anything, or I would rather be focused on hiring good subs than doing anything else. Um, I still have plans to do that to this day. I want to create a hardwood company that my company subcontracts from, all that other shit. But I don't want to do it myself. You know what I mean? Unless it's for my own home. Um, I don't that's where the like, the line between worker and owner. I'd love to be the owner. I'd not want to be the worker. What you doing? Looking to builder trend for CRM and billing communications app. It's fire for GCs. I will do that, Carla. Thank you. Has your husband thought about trading? What has he said anything about yours? I wonder how that's if that's cool from his, I don't know if he's doing it. I miss kebabs from Australia. I have thought about buying a food truck and hiring them just to make them like, yeah, there there you go. Where's Stelio? I think he's on a hiatus, man. I was gonna check on him the other day. I will always succeed because I am insane. He was the one to push me to do it because I have an accounting and tax background. Numbers have always been my thing. I was really good at representing clients in front of the IRS, so he knows I like to fight with the bigger guys. The big guy is now in the market. Carla, fuck yeah, dude. I'm not gonna lie, that's fucking cool, dude. Excuse me, that's not a ticker symbol. Can I go over QQQ? Yeah, well, I was actually trying to save that really quickly because I'm gonna do the ETFs really quickly. I think we're gonna wrap this up if nobody has any more requests. Wanted to make sure we got everybody's requests, but it's crazy, man, how badly I'm Can you stop hitting the zero? I'm gonna look at them. I'm gonna look at the ETFs here, but I want to look at futures. Yeah. All right, you gotta choose a place to lay. Small Kitty Cat. I can't just lay in my fucking hands like a podium. Love you. But you gotta stay down there. Don't do it. All right. So the weekly. I mean, the weekly is a little bit easier, right? The weekly shows a fight for the structure's floor. And so far, you're not really accomplishing that. Now you do have retest levels directly underneath you, right on that green candle. So the 24-hour here, I would look for a pullback and recoil bounce, like something. If you're bullish, you want something like that. And I can give you a pretty solid target here of 113.72. Is that Anakin? No, this is Pearl. Her name is the Black Pearl, or just Black Pearl. But bruh, no, stop it. All right, I'm banning you. You're banned. Got to take you outside. Bring in a new cat. There, there. Cycling a new cat. Here we go. Yeah, don't itch above my computer, my boy. Hey, come here. Come here. You're all right. Big boy. Come here. The cat be pulling up programming screens. Yeah. Oh, wrong headphones. Is that warm? All right. Let's knock these fuckers out. So yeah, anyway, doesn't look bad. All right. How do you know when exiting a box is a fake out? Or how do I know when exiting a box is a fake out? Like leaving the box? Uh, I mean, things like that. You know what I mean? Like, uh, I think candle closes do it for me, man. Confident, solid. Like, let me show you. That right there tells me that price is going to keep going. There's nothing stopping you. Price does not settle back at the end of the day, right? And it's structure. So like you might look over here and be like, well, what about that candle, Garrett? Well, guess what? You got a fucking box you got to make it through. You weren't able to do it. When you did, right? You pop up, make a new high, hit the first green candle to your left, and then consolidate. So, I mean, a fake out during the day, those are tougher to spot, but it's typically when you leave, if you leave with empty space and you rip really, really fast and you don't grab hold of anything, that's a fake out. That would oh, I see what you mean. Inverse head and shoulders. I guess on a lower time frame. But yeah, I guess. Carvana down. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, don't do that. What the fuck are you doing? Toothless. Can you stop? No, don't do that. You're shaking my computer, bruh. That does look good, bruh. It does look good. Is his name Toothless? Yes. He's about to be clawless if he doesn't stop. You gotta stop scratching yourself. He gets itchy in the winter. His skin gets dry. Too slow, bro. You're slow for a cat. You know that? Actually really do like this. Now, I don't like that it's probably going to do this first, but if it can reject that point right there, fuck, that was the worst line I've ever drawn in my life. That right there, 464.72. That would be my main. That would be the main coup de grace here. So I mean, yes, I do actually like Carvana potentially to the downside, but when you create trend, you create control, and that's tough to break. So I would let this fucker marinate. You know, again, you could try below the floor, but just know when you get down here, sneaky lower time frame structure will stop you dead in your tracks, and I would suspect that that's likely true in this case. If you're smart, you'll play the chart and not your bias. So just rubbing my fucking computer corner, weirdo. All right, I did circle. Wait, no, did I circle? It looks, I guess if you're looking at the lower time frame, sure, that looks good. The 24-hour time frame has empty space up above it and a wick of 96.26 and a candle close of 101. That actually transfers to 97.86. So yeah, I guess. Yes, I mean, this doesn't look bad. You're closing pretty well at the cost basis mark. Now, if you're on the 4-hour, it's separate. It's two boxes. So I would say absolutely 87.60 candle close 4-hour, or obviously 89.35, and you could be moving up and out. And you do have empty space to get you there with on the lower time frame. So, all right, let's wrap this up. Anything else? Drop it now because I'm going to go over the ETFs in a separate video. I don't know. What would you rather have? 10 hits to the shin with a Razor scooter or trade Google? I'm taking the shin hits. I'm taking the shin hits. Shin hits. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'll take a long expiration out on my shins. Maybe the Lord will forgive me of my shins. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. Please forgive me for the joke that I just told, because that was bad. 308.70, maybe. Goofy ass chart. Listen, this is just pure tension up above you. A catalyst, you could blow through all this shit. And I would say no problem. And I mean, there's like certain little hints, like up here, there's like empty space. But you also have left some nasty gaps down there. This is a rough stock to be trading, I think, in my opinion. So, shin hits in winter. I think the 24-hour, makes it a little bit clearer. where you can just kind of say, well, that's likely going to be retested since you did come down and test some of the structure that's underneath you. Not all of it, but some of it. Yeah, it's a little weird. All right, what a Amazon can be. Catherine, you are 100% correct on that one. 100% correct on that. Correct on that one. Do you say did I do that one? I thought I did that one. DKNG up. Homie, it is straight up 36.45. Candle close possibly 35.85. You just need a green ass candle right here, closing outside of where some sellers control the price. That's all you need. That's all you need. And I'm with you. It also needs a fucking catalyst. It also has a short-term target. Long-term target's different, but the short-term target's likely 38. You got a little range right there that's, this is going to serve as your first target system. So 36.85, 37.75, and 38 flat. And then that happens, which who knows what that is going to be. Docu Messi are good. I think if you keep it simple, it can be clear. I think if you keep this simple, right? If you can just you don't even really need fucking boxes. You just need a couple lines. 71.31, right? This mark over here. I mean, actually, you know what? Fuck it. You got the wicks up above you. So from here to here, right? I mean, you can do this, but the reality is yes, there is empty space up there. Yes, this can potentially get that done. 78.45 and $80. So it's not that bad. No, it's not that bad. Yeah, but channels are not that important to me. Channels are just my way of finding control, placing price targets. But if it doesn't have empty space or clarity, I don't care. I don't care if the channel is as crisp as a fucking spring morning, dude. Freshly cut flowers over a babbling brook. Fresh. I don't care. What you doing? Come on. Fuck with me then. Come on. Too slow, bro. Come on, dude. I'm not even trying. I'm not even trying. You gotta be faster. You gotta be faster, dude. You gotta be faster. Institutions. We make up 0.00001% of the fucking market strength. Yeah, I just looked at DKNG. You're probably going to see me go over that like 4 times. Oh, thank you for the gifts. I didn't even fucking see those gifts, Bobby. Fucking fall off my shit because it's going to be recorded. You're going to be on camera falling off of my computer. Stop. You're going to fall, dude. All right. Let's see here. Did I miss anything else? All right. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and switch over really quickly. I'm going to stop the recording.